Hi guys, welcome back to Twisted Dice. I'm AceFace and I'm back with another Tyranid tactics videos for you today. Today I've got another top 5. This one's an interesting one and I'm sure will create a lot of debate in the chat. So I'm really interested to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you think about my choices. If you massively disagree, I want to know about it. Tell me why and tell me what you think are your choices. So today what we're going to discuss is the unsung heroes. Those units that I believe, the top 5 units that are underrated within the Tyranid arsenal. These are units that potentially don't make it into the list, potentially people think are not very good, but actually in certain circumstances and in a lot of ways are actually quite strong units. So hopefully this will be interesting for you guys, and if you haven't tried these units, give them a go and let me know how bad, how good they work out for you. These are units that I've used and found very useful on the battlefield. So let's dive into that. But before we do, if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button. Chuck a like down below, and again, let us know what you think. And if you want to support us further, we have a Patreon service. From $1 a month, you can back the channel, support us, what we're doing, also become part of an awesome Discord server and some of the other perks. We've got some amazing stuff going on. All our videos pretty much are released there early, and we have regular giveaways that are coming for those guys as well, including winning a fantastic one-eye model that I painted for one of the other videos. But anyway, let's jump in. So at number 5, and this is in no particular order, guys, this is just my top 5. So in 5, we're going to go with the Carnufex. I love the Carnufex, but actually, I'm telling you guys, it's a really strong unit. It's very, very anti-meta. When you stack it right with the Venom Cannon, with the minus to hit, and the right high fleet, so giving it a potential a 2-up save in the open. It's really super strong. For the points wise, you just got a really tough cookie to crack that can get across the board relatively quickly. You know, they're not easy to shift. They apply quite a lot of pressure, and when you're running 6 to 9 of them, your opponent really has to have the right tools to be able to deal with them, or they're going to find themselves in trouble. They're really good. If you haven't tried them, try them now. If you tried them a long time ago, try them again, because I'm telling you, 6 to 9 Carnufexes is actually really pretty strong. They are massively underrated, and I've surprised quite a few really good players with how effective those guys are. So moving on to number 4. So number 4, we've gone for the Tyranufex. Now the Tyranufex, I will caveat this is with the Flamer. So I think it's called acid something. Should know the name really, but it is only with the Flamer. That the Rupture Cannon is I don't find very effective. There are better shooting units we have. Yes, it has extra range, but it's just not super effective. If you had loads of joy with a Rupture Cannon, then awesome for you guys. I've struggled to make it work for me, particularly on such a fairly expensive unit. It doesn't put out enough shots for it to be truly effective. But I do think, as a much more of an aggressive unit, the Flamer variant does offer you a lot. It can apply quite a lot of pressure. Again, you can make sure that potentially it's got a -1 on it to hit. You can give it other buffs from the Blood of Baal book. It's toughness 8. It's not easy to shift, and it can definitely, as part of an organised Tyranid army, it can be quite a threat. If it gets to that middle field, again, there's very much a no-go zone within its Flamer range, because when it can double tap that Flamer, it can do incredible amounts of damage. It's actually a really solid choice, and one well worth trying if you haven't before. I definitely think it's particularly underrated within the Tyranid arsenal of different units. So that goes to my number 4. Moving into the next slot, and this one's an interesting one. The Humble Ripper. So Ripper Swarms are incredibly good. The ability to deep strike for free is such a huge benefit to the unit. The fact that it's a very cheap troops choice again means that you need to take troop choice anyway. Rippers just give you so much versatility with their movement shenanigans and the ability to come in where you need them in a relatively small footprint is great. Really, really, really strong. They are just a very cheap and cheerful, very effective unit, and I would very recommend that you use them to see how good they are. If you're running multiple battalions, if you can run enough of these guys, they can be a real pain, because nobody wants to deal with a unit of Rippers because they're not doing anything. But actually for you, if you're playing ITC, they're taking recon points, they're taking behind enemy lines, they're sitting on objectives, they are in some circumstances amazing engineers. They are such versatile units that if you're not using, try using them. They're extremely underrated, so definitely, there we go. And moving into the next spot is another little weirdo one, but incredibly powerful, is the humble Sporemine. So Sporemine's just a little nothing unit, but actually we have a stratagem that allows us to do the Sporemine formation. Thinking 7th edition, Sporemines, it allows us actually to get a really nasty alpha strike with those Sporemines, because they can do a lot of damage. You know, a unit of 9 of those will do quite a lot of work. So, you know, so you can use them either for an alpha strike point of view, you can use them to hold space on the board. The opponent can't get any points from killing them, so that's really useful as well. They can move block, ground fast units. They're incredibly cheap. You can use them for so many different tricks and different abilities within the game, and the ability to be able to potentially hold back the points and then invest on them after the game with a stratagem gives you quite a lot of flexibility there as well, because, you know, potentially there's other tricks that you could do with those points. So I think they're incredibly underrated. I loved using them last season, used them quite a lot. I found them very effective. There's surprising the amount of tricks you can do with them. You can get these guys to move so quick across the battlefield, and they can even snipe out key characters. You can do loads of crazy stuff with them. They're incredibly underrated, so that is definitely fits in this list. And the last unit, a unit that people still think are terrible, and actually they are not terrible at all, and that is the Tyranid Warrior. The Tyranid Warrior got a huge buff with the recent addition to Blood of Baal. They've always been a unit that has struggled for the Tyranids for a long time, but actually now a big unit of Tyranid Warriors with the right stacks on them can actually be quite hard to shift, and they can do a lot of work either from a shooting point of view. You can give them the Death Spitters, and then if they're near a Tyranid Prime, then they're extremely effective with those Death Spitters. You can make them combat kings, you can give them additional buffs, you can make them quite resilient within Jormungandr, you know, giving them the +1 cover, stack that then with the with maybe a minus to hit from a Venomthrope unit or a Malanthrope, and then give them the ignore -1 and 2 AP. There's an awful lot of shenanigans you can do to these guys to make them really, really effective and make them actually a really chunky unit. There's also some buffs to the ITC missions, which means that they're actually quite good at not giving away the secondary points they used to. So really, really good unit. If you haven't already, definitely grab your warriors out of your kind of your attics and your cellars, dust them off, give them a go. They're a really fun, iconic Tyranid unit that actually now is massively underestimated and can do a lot of work on the battlefield. So give them a go. Let me know what you think. But I find them incredibly good, a lot of fun to use, and definitely one to give a go. So hopefully, guys, you've enjoyed this list of kind of unsung heroes and underrated Tyranid units. I have also got a video on what I consider to be the strongest Tyranid units. There is a card there and a link down below, so hit that. But that's it for today. We've reached our 10-minute mark. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.